And just like that, the next episode has begun. Welcome back to Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. I'm your host, MegaShadowFist, sick of a sick of commentary. We last left off, we were cross-examining Bikini. Sick edition, my voice isn't like fully restored yet, so I can't do all the voices properly, whatever. Anyway, let's go and continue. When I looked across at the scene, the sword was already in place. At that time, was the victim bleeding? Well, I was very shocked to be seeing all this, of course. So I'm not entirely sure. But I don't think I saw any blood, not then. I'm sure that you didn't. The weapon was acting as a plug in the wound. In any case, let's be clear on one very important point. Did you actually see the incident in which the victim was stabbed? Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Elise. Think carefully, this is very important. It's Iris we are talking about here. I'm thinking for all I'm worth. No, when I looked over, the sword was already in Mystic Elise's body. It might not be conclusive, but this testimony supports her theory. The victim was stabbed in the room and then dropped into the courtyard. I think this proves it rather well, Miles Edgeworth. I've never seen so much blood before. So you're saying that you saw the victim's blood? That's right! Some of it had splattered onto Iris, too! When the defendant was arrested, she was meditating in the room, and her blood-flecked clothing was neatly folded in the corner. What? Her clothes were blood-flecked as well? This seems quite conclusive to me. What should I do? Press this point further? Yeah, sure, why not? Going back to your previous statement, you said that you saw little bleeding when the victim was stabbed, but now, you say you saw the victim bleeding? Well, I say that what I saw is what I saw. What did you see? Maybe I didn't see the poor woman get stabbed, but I saw the girl pull the sword out of her, plain as day. Pulling the sword out? Well, it wasn't exactly pulling, it was more like it came out. Witness, you will add the statement to your testimony. Oh, was that important? More important than you can imagine. I saw the incident in which the blade plunged into the hilt with smoothly drawn I've never seen so much blood before. Was the bleeding caused by the killer removing the sword? No mistaking it, I remember it as clear as day. Don't you think that's a bit odd? What do you mean, Miles Edgeworth? Why would the killer pull out the sword? What? If all she wanted to do was place the weapon in the hand of the gold statue, then there was no reason to remove it from the body. All that would have accomplished is causing the victim to bleed unnecessarily. Your thoughts, Miss Von Karma? That's... Indeed, it is strange now that you mention it. I'm going to need to find an answer to this mystery, too. Anyway, this witness saw something terrible. So what did you do after that witness? That's when I fainted. You can't blame me, can you? Now, on to what the killer did next. You saw none of it, correct? Well, I was unconscious. How long were you out for? I don't know, 10, maybe 20 minutes? A young man with a very prickly-looking head woke me up. By stepping on me, actually. I'm not sure I like that method of resuscitation. Well, I wasn't asking for mouth-to-mouth or anything of the sort. But I would have welcomed a more gentle awakening right about then, let me tell you. I shall have words with the offender personally. What did you see upon awakening? And when I awoke, Mystic Amy was stabbing Mystic Elise through the back. That doesn't... By Mystic Amy. Oh yeah. You are referred to the golden statue, correct? Just stabbing someone with the Shichishito, a sacred weapon, is terrible enough. But to then make Mystic Amy hold the blade? Truly a heinous, despicable crime. It is easy to spy something. Anyone can do it. However, there is something that cannot be done so easily. Whatever it is, I'm sure it's doubly hard for you. Anyway, what is the problem? Exactly why would the killer set up this gruesome scene? Can anyone explain the reasoning behind that? No, I don't think I can. That isn't the logical reason behind why someone acts. That's true, so true. It's early spring, for example. I often find myself... There isn't always. That phrase might come in handy someday. There are too many unnatural elements in this case. Why was it necessary to use the Shichistool from the Amy statue as a weapon? Why was the weapon finally placed back in the hand of the statue? If I can expose the flaws in this testimony, perhaps then I will begin to find the truth. Alrighty then, let's go ahead and save. Oops, let's go ahead and save. Please, saving, do not turn power off. But what if I want to? You can't stop me from doing that, can you, game? No, I don't think you can. I don't know. Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Elise. I saw the incident in which the blade plunged into the hilt was smoothly drawn out. Smoothly, you say? You're saying you saw the sword smoothly slide out? That's right. The whole thing happened right next to the gold statue of Mystic Amy. Mystic Elise was on the ground, and Iris was stooped over her. The sword was buried up the hilt. When Iris stood up, the sword was in her hand, just slid out of Mystic Elise's body. It slid out from that gaping wound. It goes without saying that if the sword was removed, there would be bleeding. Nothing out of the police here. Is that really the case? I can't help but feel that something about this testimony is very out of place. That something which shouldn't possibly have happened appears to have happened. Let's press that one more time again. I saw the incident in which the blade plunged into the hilt was smoothly drawn out. Smoothly, you say? You're saying you saw the sword smoothly slide out? That's right. The whole thing happened right next to the gold statue of Mystic Amy. Mystic Elise is on the ground and Iris is stooped over her. The sword was buried up to the hilt. When Iris stood up, the sword in her hand just slid out of Mystic Elise's body. It slid out from that gaping wound. It goes without saying that if the sword was removed, there would be bleeding. Nothing out of place here. Okay. So much blood before. I saw the incident in which the blade plunged into the hilt was smoothly drawn out. Apparent murder has the victim's blood and suspects fingers on it. Crime photo. But still... Am I missing something here? Let's go ahead and present this. No, I was like, no, that's not. I was thinking, okay. This evidence clearly reveals the contradiction in that statement, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm afraid I can't accept that. Okay, yeah, we've already seen this. Okay, I was only testing you just now. Okay, well then why don't you try testing this pill? I shouldn't have. It looks like I shouldn't have spoken in such haste. I really shouldn't have. I saw it plunged into the hilt was smoothly drawn out. Okay, crime photo. Check button for details. Elise's autopsy report. Loss of blood from stabbing back. Body fell 10 feet after death. Check button for details. That's just Elise Donium. One thing that I forgot to point out is that her staff is actually missing its jewel. An occult magazine, regional weather report, shows the Zakura temple and the surrounding area. Okay. Note to Iris. Or see Iris's hood, hanging scroll. Shichistool. Carried by Elise Donium when she was alive, has her fingerprints on it. What utter nonsense. I mean, we could present the blade itself. There we go. Sister Bikini, you are a reliable witness. At least I like to think so. But there are too many contradictions here. What do you mean? You make it sound as though I'm a liar. But you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. What contradictions are you talking about? In the scene that the witness claims to have seen, the weapon was thrust up its hilt into the victim. Furthermore, the killer withdrew the weapon smoothly from the body. However, both of these are complete impossibilities. What do you mean? Please explain Explain yourself! To start with, do you think it would be possible to stab someone to the hilt with this? No matter how I look at the defendant, she doesn't appear strong enough for that. Doesn't appear? What meaningless dribble? I too may appear to be weak and frail, but I can crush men under my heel and make them weep. Should I so choose? The objection stands. I went a little back there, I must admit. That isn't the only issue here. If this sword was truly stabbed into the body up the hilt, well, just look at all the branches on it. It certainly wouldn't come out smoothly. We also have the problem of the amount of bleeding. It's true that when a blade is left in a body, it acts as a plug of sorts. However, when the weapon is shaped like this, it's an entirely different story. The wound would be too large for the shape to completely stop the bleeding, or the blade. That's nothing more than conjecture. In reality, the victim was stabbed with the shichishito. Even a weapon of this nature may still sometimes slide out smoothly and may still sometimes stop the blood loss. I'm not finished. There is still one more. Conclusive contradiction. You still got more? I might as well say we haven't. I don't know if they're gonna ask us to present some type of evidence or say the contradiction. We present the picture, and the contradiction is right here, and the something. I don't know. Anyway, you still got more. This one is simple. If this sword really was thrusted all the way to the hilt, why is there only blood on the tip of it? If this witness is telling the truth, then there should be blood along the entire length of the sword! No! Order! Bravo, Miles Edgeworth! Raising this many contradictions from a single piece of evidence. All the other attorneys I know could maybe manage one, if that. But what does this all mean? You have proven contradictions regarding the murder weapon, but having come this far, there can only be one answer. And naturally, we're going to need to present evidence for this, so we should probably save. Oh, well, the good news is that maybe in the next recording session, my voice should be back, so I should be able to do everything 100% proper next time. I don't know, I keep feeling the need to remind you guys this. Having come this far, there can only be one answer. And that is... the weapon used to kill the victim was not the shichishito. What?! I already proposed that, like, a long time ago, but sure. A foolishly foolish idea, but for the foolish mind of a foolhardy foolish fool. Let's examine this again. What was it that made us think that the sword was the murder weapon? Well... it's because Mystic Amy was holding it! Exactly. However, if you reflect on this, that is the only basis we have to assume such a thing. The impression left by the scene was just too strong. That is what influenced us. It influenced us to believe that the shichishito was the murder weapon. Order! So maybe the shichishito was not the murder weapon. Even if that is the case, it changes nothing, Miles Edgeworth. The sister here saw everything. She saw the defendant stab the victim with a sword-like object. That's true. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth? If that is so, I would like the prosecution to answer the obvious question it raises. The obvious question? Yes, namely, where did the real murder weapon disappear to? It goes without saying that the police searched the main hall in the surrounding area. Perhaps the prosecution can enlighten us as to if a sword-like object was found? Answer the question, Miss Von Karma. No evidence of that kind was found. Another mystery to throw out into the pile. A trial without a murder weapon is a tricky beast. Excuse me, could I say something? I just remembered something, actually. What is it, sister? I was just thinking, it's possible that just maybe what actually happened was, it was just over there. What exactly are you going on about here? The murder weapon, I mean. Maybe I think I might know where the sword was disposed of. You what? Well then. I think we need to hear testimony from you one more time, sister. Impossible! What else? What else could this old woman have seen? Witness testimony, location of the weapon. I saw the murder at around 11 p.m. and after asking that it be reported, I went out to the main gate. And there, I saw tracks that indicate the snowmobile had been used. It takes 50 minutes to walk to Rescue Bridge, but less than 5 using one of those. Maybe they threw the weapon into Eagle River and came back while I was knocked out. Iris could have done that. She could drive a snowmobile after all. Witness, please tell us everything you know right away next time. Well, I'm not in the best of shape, what with my back and my age, you know. Quite. There were these snowmobile tracks in front of the main gate. Here's a photograph. Hey, I didn't see that when I did my investigation. A snowmobile, eh? I see. Well, it certainly is an interesting theory. The tracks begin at the front of Hazakura Temple, and run all the way to the Dusky Bridge. Track photos added to the court record. That solves your pesky little problem, yes? The Eagle River's current is quite swift, meaning that it doesn't freeze over in winter, making it the perfect place to dispose of the murder weapon. Did she really go to this river to dispose of the murder weapon? Mr. Edgeworth, your cross-examination, please. Location of the weapon? Okay, let's go ahead and save, please. If you don't mind. If you don't mind, in case you haven't noticed, I sort of got like really stuffy all of a sudden. Meh. I saw the murder at around 11 p.m. You are sure about the time? Yes, I was worried about it after all. Why was that? Because I have a strong sense of responsibility, especially at this time of year. The Acolyte was being doused in freezing water at the time. I couldn't very well take it easy on the bath all night now, could I? So at 11, I decided to leave Hazakura Temple. Her estimation of the time seems reliable, at least. Please continue, sister. And after asking that it be reported, I went out to the main gate. You asked Phoenix Wright to report this crime, correct? Right. The one who trampled me. It seems she is the type to hold a grudge. There isn't a phone in the main hall, so I sent it to the bridge. Phoenix Wright? He didn't even have a cell phone on him. Yeah, I've forgotten it at home, apparently. What a naive boy, as always. Not only do I always carry my phone, but I always have my whip in hand, too. Anyway, I was really scared, and it was taking him a while to get back. So I thought I'd go by the main gate for a spell. And there, I saw tracks that indicated the snowmobile had been used. As I recall, there was a snowmobile outside the main gate when I visited. That's it. That's the only one we have. It'll run no matter how much snow falls. Now, you're certain the snowmobile was there at the main gate when you arrived? Yes, of course. It was parked in front of the gate. So, she had already discarded the murder weapon and returned by that time. I'm not sure if this is really relevant. What should I do? We should press further, of course. I need answers to every possible doubt. The snowmobile in question, was it still warm at the time? Huh? What do you mean? What do you mean, eh? What do you mean, Miles Edgeworth? I'm playing to a slow crowd here. It goes without saying that using a snowmobile will heat its engine. If it was still warm, then it means it was recently used. Ah, I see. I never thought of that. That's right. I overlooked that too. And we'll continue on the awkward pad.